What's going on, Bat Fam? Welcome back to the Builder Trader YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be doing my weekly outlook. If you're new to the channel, in these videos, I go over the medium and high impact news for the upcoming trading week, as well as do technical analysis on some of the pairs that I trade and a few others that I've been covering lately. So, we normally cover the NASDAQ 100. This week, we're covering the US 30, which is the Dow Jones Index. If you don't know what that is, Dow Jones Industrial. Yeah, the USD JPY, USD CAD, a few Forex pairs. Covering Bitcoin, as well as gold and oil, a few commodities as well. So if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, turn on that bell, and let's dive right in here. So on Monday, we have Bank of England Governor Bailey speaking during London session. Later that evening, we have a Reserve Bank of Australia rate statement. On Tuesday, we have ISM Services Purchasing Managers Index. ISM stands for Institute of Supply Management, and this basically just measures, economic health within businesses. On Wednesday, we have crude oil inventories at 7:30 during New York session, and a few hours later, following a FOMC meeting. So Wednesday, there should be some good volatility during New York session. On Thursday, we have U.S. dollar unemployment claims as following a FOMC member speaking. On Friday, we have the Canadian dollar unemployment rates and employment change data, and that's it for the news this week. So let's dive right in here. Right here, we're looking at the NASDAQ 100. I'm going to go up to the weekly time frame here. These are the same exact arrows I had drawn in last week's analysis. So we can see that I was saying that either the market was going to break and hit this level to retest, or it's going to break above higher and hit this level at 152. 125, 1200, and that's exactly where we hit before coming down and possibly making a higher low here. So let me back up a tad. The remaining of this week, or next week I should say, it does look like the NASDAQ could push bullish based off the fact of how we closed last month and last week and how we are looking so far. So I'm going to go down to the 4-hour time frame here. I'm going to remove these arrows, and let's see what we can take advantage of this week possibly. So there's an area right here where this level is at 14700. It looks like the market is trying to find support here based off the smaller time frame. But there is some bearish pressure. However, given where it is reacting from, this could be seen as a point of market structure, which it should be. And so we are looking at a support right here, as well as a little bit of support down here with this previous higher lows arc I have right here, this blue arc. But really though, what needs to happen is another candle needs to come down. Now there is some exhaustion on here, which is a good sign, so it could come and tap into this level fully and then continue higher, break this high at 1525 and go up to 157 range. I definitely see that happening. However, there is a different scenario that could happen. If the market pushes down and doesn't react off this area, we could get a steeper retracement similar to like this, possibly the bullish move. There's a situation where we could come down and hit this actual retest, this previous resistance, now support. However, based off where the market is above this key level and the reaction that it's currently getting, there's a strong probability that we should just continue bullish off of right where it's at currently, or it might have a little bit of a deeper retracement, but this would just be a wick before breaking up to the upside once again. So that's what I see for the NASDAQ. As far as like entries and stuff, I think based off how it opens, one could look for a trade based off of these areas just like this. If they wanted to, they could target, a higher high or just the previous high, and something like this. This looks like a pretty safe trade. If this situation happens right here and you get stopped out, it is what it is. You can just literally adjust your risk for something like that. Put the stop loss down, and same thing, Okay, next pair, we are looking at the US 30. Now, I have never traded the US 30 before. However, technical analysis is technical analysis on all pairs. So, I'm going to start on the daily time frame here. Now I can see a few things. There is a double top pattern that happened over here. We rejected from. Structure broke at this point before pushing bearish. Structure broke again right here to make this bullish move. Now we're going to see what's going to happen here. So there is a very interesting situation going on. We can see that the market has pushed above here. You can see that we are looking bullish so far because the market is making higher highs and higher lows. But currently it's at an area of resistance that we respected. And based off this last candle that we're currently on, there is a bit of exhaustion, of seller's exhaustion. That indicates that there could be a higher low forming down in this zone here. Now this point where I have the zone marked up, I'm going to add a blue arc to help with visualization, but this is a higher low point here. Correct? Higher high, higher low, higher high. So the market needs to come down and respect where I have this zone drawn. It looks like the market kind of pinned off from there, but I have a feeling that, just based off experience, that it could push down into the zone one more time before waking up and attempting this level again at 13575, or potentially breaking higher. And that next point could possibly be this area here at 368. 368, yeah. This is exactly what I see for the US 30, the Dow Jones. We should come down and make a higher low point. If this point breaks right here, then it's not going to go bullish at the start of the week. You know, there could be a situation where the zone here and another level here. If this area breaks right here with the arrow where I have the situation, then there will definitely be a steeper correction down to this level here or here, and then might attempt again. But for this move that I'm seeing, this level needs to be respected. So I still see the US 30 being bullish for the upcoming trading week. Okay, so now we're looking at USD JPY. So let's see what happened last week here. It did trade this pair. It was profitable last week, however, it was not the most profitable. But, you know, a gain is a gain. So on the daily, we have a really strong bullish candle. Kind of looks like structure was broken right here, but based off of this bullish candle, it's telling me that there's definitely a lot of buyers in the market still. Now this could be a potential lower high coming up, but that's not even a situation yet. It needs to happen first, but it is possible. There's a doji right here based off of last week's close. That indicates indecision. We have a strong bullish candle, just broke above the previous highs, which initiated this breakout move, or that impulse move to the upside. So now I'm going to adjust this level here, remove this one. So really what needs to happen is this. So how this close kind of looks like it's going to come down, maybe retest this area at 122, 1225, somewhere around here, and then continue higher and attempt this area. Or the other situation I'm seeing is a deeper retracement down to these levels at 1215, and then essentially trying to continue up once again. But where it's at currently, it's a little difficult to tell because obviously we switched from bearish, lower highs and lower lows, right? Hit this level, had a little fake out, kind of created a double bottom pattern. Depends what time frame you're looking on and what you want to call it. But where we are reacting from now is a previous lower high point, and it did react and looks like it might be trying to push bearish again. However, where this previous lower, or this previous higher low point is, the market needs to respect this point, and that is why this candle right here has some type of exhaustion wick on the bottom of it, because people are coming in assuming this might be the area where the higher low is formed, which in theory is correct because based off structure and levels and key levels and stuff, this is where it would line up. If this level breaks, it's going to come down for a steeper retracement down to the 1215 range. But that's what I see for this upcoming trading week. I do see USD JPY continuing bullish, and it should react from this level here. However, if this level is not respected, which it definitely should be because it's based off structure and key levels, it will come down to this major level here. This major level breaks though, which I don't think it will. And it's definitely possible. You know, this could be a lower high. Could get something like this. This could be a lower high. Something like that. Not a good color. Alright, so yeah. Could get something like this, but I'm seeing this bullish scenario first. The red arrows that are drawn. Next pair, we're looking at USD CAD, USD Canadian dollar. We'll start on the daily time frame here. Okay, last week we did push pretty bearish. Remove some of these technicals that are no longer needed. So it looks like the market pushed below this point, ended up hitting this major level down here. Definitely strong reaction from there. This actually could be dragged up a tad. Let's go to lower time frame. Okay, so right now it looks like it's moving sideways. The market's trying to decide if it's going to go back up and fill in the space that it created. So something like this. We could get something like that based off all this bearish pressure. The market needs to come back and retrace and create some type of lower highs and a counter trend essentially. And it looks like there is some type of transition happening on the lower time frames. As you can see on the left side, lower highs, lower lows, just pure bullish pressure coming all the way down until we got to this level. And then there was a lot of pressure here last week, which forced it to break below this little bit of support that I had, but it pinned off this major level. And this is there's a few patterns you can see this as, but I kind of see it as an inverse head and shoulders. And here's why. I'll mark it up. Left shoulder here where this blue arc is. Here's the head where this arc is. And here is the right shoulder. I have this arc. Now, if you watch my candle pattern intro to key levels and candle patterns video, you will know that an inverse head and shoulder pattern is a reversal pattern. So, a bullish reversal pattern. So we can see that was bearish, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher low. Now, if this resistance breaks where this blue level is at 1527, 1525, around that range, 15252, around this range right here, it's going to initiate a breakout and do this bullish situation that I had drawn up. And that's honestly all I see for this pair. I only see USD CAD strengthening. If it does break, you know, we have a bullish candle here, or I'm sorry, a bearish candle close here. That's not the best. So there is a possible situation that it could push lower into this zone again. However, like I said, I'm seeing this bullish situation, but it is all dependent on whether this resistance right here breaks. That's it. If it's respected, then it's going to continue down with the bearish momentum that it was already having. But based off of the candle patterns and the data that I'm seeing, I see this possibly getting a bullish retracement, but we will see. Next pair, we're looking at Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin. So let's see here. Last week, this red arrow is what I drew last week for last week's analysis. This blue arrow here, I was saying if this resistance breaks, it's going to push up to the upside, up to this region here, and it ended up hitting $48,000. So that's cool. So let's see here. Where this blue line is, where this blue level is, needs to be respected, and it looks like it is. What this blue level represents is structure. So the fact that it broke above these previous highs that it was consolidating in indicates that the trend is going to continue bullish, in my opinion. Sorry. So why I think this is because, one, we have this exact situation that I drew from last week's analysis. Two, we broke these highs, and it was a strong break, very clear, lots of momentum. Looks like a higher low is forming here. This is what a higher low looks like. Comes down, a bullish candle outdoes it. It looks like a lower high here. However, you know, it could just be some noise. So let's go down to a slightly lower time frame, the 4 hour. So I see two different situations here just looking at this. One, this could potentially be a higher low, and we see, you know, just something like this that I just illustrated with the blue arrows, right? And something like that, because there's a resistance here, It's going to make a high and try to attempt these previous highs slash resistance, might wick off, come down again. It's going to attempt to break it one more time. And if it doesn't break, it's going to go down. However, based off the structure and levels being respected, we should see a break to the upside on Bitcoin. It could possibly hit 50K. I think Bitcoin could, oh, my apologies. Let me go back and fix that. All right. Yeah, I do see Bitcoin going to potentially the 50K price range. Yeah, it's looking pretty clean. There is a possibility up to the downside. I just don't really see that happening unless this level breaks, this blue level breaks. It would come down and correct down to like the $42,000 price range. But for Bitcoin, I do see it pushing bullish still. Okay, now we're looking at gold. Gold. Okay, so the blue lines are the analysis I did for last week. However, we see that neither of that happened. Gold's actually kind of consolidating right now in a very interesting range. So we did respect that level, tapped into it and rejected, came back into this level down here and rejected, which means we're consolidating, we're moving sideways. If you don't see it, I'm gonna just draw it real quick. We're moving sideways. It's not going up. It's going up or down, but it's not trending. It's consolidating. So what this tells me is that, one, we're setting up for another bigger move. When the market is consolidating, it means it's breathing. It's trying to cook something up, right? It's trying to cook something up, cook up a bigger move. Something's in the works, essentially. So something's in the works here on gold. And right now, it looks like it's pretty bearish because, let me draw this up. This actually looks like a head and shoulder pattern, which would be a bearish pattern, a bearish reversal pattern, but not to look too much into it. I'm just looking at the price action itself mostly and happen to notice this pattern at these levels. Left shoulder, right shoulder, left shoulder right here. I'm sorry, right shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. My apologies. Okay, so now, given that you see this lower high, lower high, lower high, or sorry, yeah, lower high, high, lower high. Either way, for this situation, it does look like we're going to go to the downside. If this level breaks at 1900, 1905, 1910, if gold breaks around $1,900 an ounce, it's going to fall down pretty hard to the next level after that is 1850. So if gold breaks $1,900 an ounce, it's going to go down to 1850. It's just inevitable. Once this level breaks, it's going to be a big push down to the downside. But that is all I'm seeing on gold for this week. It's just in a range, and honestly, it could break to the upside as well if it hits this resistance level and breaks these highs. But based off the candlesticks and the higher time frame candles that I'm seeing and how it closed last week, we're just more bearish than bullish in my opinion. So I would say gold has a strong possibility of dropping to 1850 this upcoming week or so. Last but not least, we're looking at US oil. So oil actually has been following my analysis week after week pretty spot on, so that's cool. But last week, this is the analysis I had, this blue arrow and red arrow, and as you can see, we didn't quite hit this blue level down here yet at $95 a barrel, but I still see that as a possibility. There was a lower low made here after this pointed structure broke, this point of support slash structure broke, made a lower high at this point. Oh, sorry. We had this arc, lower high at this point here. Let me straighten this level out. And so for the next thing that needs to happen, because right where it's at is not really anything. There's not anything here. Where I have these levels at, it's where you want to be looking at trades and point of interest. Anything in between, anything that happens in between key levels, just for future reference, and so you guys know, is not correct. It's invalid. It needs to happen off a level. If it doesn't happen off a level, that trade is very low probability. Even if it reacts, even if it did go in your favor and you still won, over time, you'll see those are very inconsistent trades, and your most consistent and higher probability setups are going to come off these levels. So for oil, if I were to be looking for buys, or for any type of position actually, for buys I would have to come off this level at around $95, $96 a barrel. From there, it could retrace higher. But as you can see, we are in kind of a bearish trend. So it is very dependent on whether $95 a barrel can hold. Because if 95 breaks and this previous point structure breaks, it's going to push oil down to $90 a barrel and below. If it breaks below 90, the $90 to $89 range, it's going to keep going lower. But that's not going to happen immediately. I mean, it could, but I don't see that happening immediately. But if this level breaks at $95 a barrel, then it definitely is going to come down. No question about it. However, if that level respects, if $95 a barrel respects, then we can see this situation I have on the right with the risk reward tool. And I'll draw it up. The market comes down, pushes into this zone, looks up really hard. We get a strong impulse move, right? It breaks that high, or it breaks that support, comes down to retest somewhere like that, and then we continue on. This blue situation that I just drew is what I see for oil realistically. However, where I have this blue arrow that I'm not changing to red is also a very realistic possibility, because if this level does not hold, there's going to be a lot of bearish pressure right here to try and push it down, and there's going to be a lot of bullish pressure right here to try and push it up. So it really depends what happens at this level, but based off the structure and everything, I would say buys based on the higher time frame and everything else. But I would wait to see if we get a strong reaction or not. You know, it's a very iffy area. So just wait on the price action, wait for clarity, and you know you might be able to find your move. That's all I have for this week's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the analysis. Stay tuned. I will have a free signal group up very, very soon. I will be posting free analysis, my charts, exactly what I'm doing now, except I'm going to have them broken down and annotated, and you won't have to watch a video. You'll just be able to go on Telegram. Stay tuned for that. I'll be announcing that on the channel and on Instagram. Thanks for watching my video, guys. See you guys in the next one. Peace.